I am 96 years old. I have been alive for 35,040 mornings. Give or take a few, I was too stubborn to count. These legs have walked behind a plow horse since I was 7. These arms have lifted hay bales that would put your gym machines to shame. And they did it before breakfast, and they did it without a protein shake or a vitamin pill or whatever nonsense you people are swallowing now. Listen to me close. The human body is not a mystery. It is not a machine that requires a mechanic every 6 months. It is a seed. You plant it in good soil, you give it clean water and real sunlight, and you leave it alone, and it will grow into something that outlasts everything around it. But if you plant that seed in poison, if you pour chemicals on it, if you keep it in the dark, if you rip it out of the ground every week to check the roots, it will wither and die. No matter how many experts you hire to inspect it, you are ripping yourselves out of the ground every single week. You are checking and scanning and testing and Googling symptoms at 2 in the morning, and you have become so terrified of dying that you have forgotten to function. And people ask me, they always ask like it's the most important question in the world, what's your secret? And I tell them the truth, and they don't like it, because the truth is not a supplement. The truth is not a superfood or a hack or a shortcut. The truth is something your great-grandmothers knew and your generation has completely, entirely forgotten. You don't need to add anything to your life. You need to stop poisoning it. Let me tell you something, and I need you to hear this because you are being lied to every single day, and you are paying for the privilege. You live in a world that has convinced you that health is complicated, that you need experts and apps and trackers and blood panels and supplements with names that sound like they belong in a chemistry explosion. You strap a watch to your wrist that tells you how you slept, as if your own body can't tell you that when you wake up. You count steps like a man counting coins in a jar. And you've somehow forgotten that your grandfather walked 10 miles a day and never once thought to count a single one. Listen to me close. The human body is not a mystery. It is not a machine that requires a mechanic every 6 months. It is a seed. You plant it in good soil. You give it clean water and real sunlight, and you leave it alone. And it will grow into something that outlasts everything around it. But if you plant that seed in poison, if you pour chemicals on it, if you keep it in the dark, if you rip it out of the ground every week to check the roots, it will wither and die no matter how many experts you hire to inspect it. You are ripping yourselves out of the ground every single week. You are checking and scanning and testing and Googling symptoms at 2 in the morning. And you have become so terrified of dying that you have forgotten to function. And the food. Oh, the food. Let me tell you about your food. You are not eating food. I need you to understand this. What you are putting in your body is not food. I have seen what you people eat. My granddaughter showed me the packages once. She brought them from the store, from the outside store. And I turned one over and read the back. I could not pronounce a single ingredient, not one. I asked her, what is this? And she said, it's a breakfast bar, Gross Dottie. And I said, no, it's not. Breakfast is an egg from a chicken I know personally. This is a science experiment. You are eating science experiments 3 times a day and then wondering why your body is falling apart at 40. I am 96. I still split firewood. I still walk to the barn. I still climb stairs without holding on to anything. My back hurts because I am old, not because I am sick. There is a difference. Old is what happens when you live long enough. Sick is what happens when you live wrong enough. And most of you, I say this with love, but I also say it with my whole chest. Most of you are not old. You are 30, 40, 50 years old and you are sick. You are tired and swollen and anxious and medicated, and you think that's just what being alive feels like. It's not. That's what being poisoned slowly feels like. And the poison is on your plate. Now you want to know what I eat. Everybody wants to know what I eat, like I'm going to reveal some ancient Amish herb. That costs $40 a jar. I'm going to disappoint you. What I eat is so plain, so ordinary, so boring by your standards that you're going to think I'm joking. And that right there is the problem. You have been trained to believe that the answer has to be exotic. It has to be new. It has to come from a rainforest or a laboratory or a country you can't find on a map. The answer came from my mother's kitchen and her mother's kitchen before that. I wake up before the sun. I have done this every day since I was old enough to walk to the barn. The first thing I drink is water, plain water. Not lemon water, not cucumber water, not water with charcoal or electrolytes or whatever you're stirring into it these days. Water from a well, cold and clean and tasting like the ground it came from. For breakfast, I eat 2 eggs, sometimes 3 if I've been working hard. Eggs from our own chickens. Chickens that walk around in the yard, that eat bugs and grass and scraps. Chickens that live like God intended chickens to live, not stacked in cages under electric lights in some factory of misery. Those eggs are different. The yolks are dark orange, almost red, and they taste like something alive. Your store eggs taste like the cardboard they come in, and you know it. With the eggs, I eat bread, real bread. My daughter-in-law bakes it. 5 ingredients: flour, water, salt, yeast, and a little bit of lard. That's it. No preservatives, no dough conditioners, no thing called calcium propionate that I'd need a dictionary to understand. The bread goes stale in 2 days. You know what that means? It means it's real. If your bread lasts 2 weeks on the counter, it is not bread, it is a product. And products are made for shelves, not for stomachs. I eat butter, real butter made from the cream of cows I have known by name. I have eaten butter every single day of my 96 years, every single day. And my heart is fine, better than fine. I can still feel it drumming in my chest when I walk up the hill to the south pasture, steady as a barn clock. You spent 50 years being afraid of butter because a man in a laboratory told you margarine was better. And now your scientists say, oh wait, we were wrong, butter is fine, margarine was the problem. And you just accepted that. You threw out the butter, you ate the plastic, and when they told you it was a mistake, you shrugged. A whole generation was lied to about butter, and nobody went to jail. For lunch, I eat whatever is ready. Some days it's soup, bean soup, potato soup. Chicken soup with noodles my wife used to roll out on the counter so thin you could almost read through them. Ruth, my wife, may she rest, she could make a soup from almost nothing. A bone, an onion, a carrot, salt, and thyme. That's the ingredient none of you have anymore. You want your food in 4 minutes, a microwave, a drive-through window. You are eating speed, and speed has no nutrition. I eat vegetables from our garden. I've eaten from the same soil for over 70 years. I know that soil. I know what it grows well and what it refuses. Tomatoes, green beans, peas, beets, cabbage, onions, potatoes. We grow what the land offers, and we eat what we grow. We don't ship strawberries from the other side of the world in January. If it's January, I eat what was canned and preserved in August. My body eats with the seasons the way a body is supposed to. Your body doesn't know what season it is anymore. You eat summer fruit in winter and wonder why your stomach is confused. For supper, we eat meat, but not the way you eat meat. We eat meat maybe 4 or 5 times a week, and it's meat from animals we raised. A roast from a steer I watched being born. Pork chops from a hog that spent its whole life in the open air. Chicken we butchered ourselves on a Tuesday and ate on a Wednesday. I have looked my food in the eye. I have thanked God for it. I have understood every single time that something gave its life so I could continue mine. That changes how you eat. When you pull meat from a plastic tray in a cold store, wrapped in film, with no blood, no bone, no memory of what it was, you eat without gratitude. And food eaten without gratitude feeds the body but starves something deeper. And here's my confession. Here's what I need to admit, because it wouldn't be honest if I didn't. I'm not 96 because I'm disciplined. I'm 96 because I never had a choice. I didn't choose to avoid processed food. There was no processed food available. I didn't choose to walk 5 miles a day. There was no car. I didn't choose to sleep when it got dark and wake when it got light. There was no electricity to trick me into staying up. I didn't choose to eat from my own garden. There was no other option. My health is not a result of willpower. It is a result of limitation. And that's the thing you need to understand. Your freedom is killing you. You have so many choices that you choose wrong 1,000 times a day. You have so much abundance that you are drowning in it. A man dying of thirst and a man drowning are both killed by water, one by its absence, the other by its excess. You are drowning in food and options and convenience. And the cure is not more information. You have more information about health than any generation in human history. And you are the sickest, most medicated, most exhausted people who have ever lived. Information is not the problem. Obedience to simplicity is the problem. You know what to do. You have always known. Eat what grows. Drink water. Move your body because there is work to do, not because a watch told you to. Sleep when it's dark. Stop when you're full. You know all of this. You knew it before I said it. Your body has been screaming it at you, and you keep turning up the volume on everything else so you don't have to hear it. So let me give you what I've learned, not from a book. I've read one book my whole life and it was enough, but from 96 years of eating the same plain food and still being here to talk about it. Rule number 1, if it doesn't rot, don't eat it. This is the simplest truth I know. Real food dies. Real food spoils. Real food is alive until you eat it, and then it becomes part of your life. If something can sit on a shelf for 2 years and still look the same, it is not food, it is furniture. Your pantry should smell like a root cellar, not a warehouse. If a fly won't land on it, why would your stomach want it? You have been tricked into believing that shelf life is a feature. It is a warning. The longer something can survive on a shelf, the less life it has to give you. Eat things that die quickly and they will keep you alive slowly. Rule number 2. Eat from the ground you stand on. There is something in local food scientists will never put in a capsule. The soil I eat from knows me. The bacteria, the minerals, the water. It's all part of the same ground my body will return to someday. When you eat food that traveled 3,000 miles to reach your plate, it arrives dead, not spoiled, dead. The life is drained out of it in trucks and warehouses. It looks and is shaped like a tomato, but it has the nutritional soul of a tennis ball. Grow something, even one thing. Even if you live in a city, put a pot of herbs on your windowsill and eat from it. Reconnect your mouth to the earth. Your body remembers how to do this. You just have to give it the chance. Rule number 3. Move because you must, not because you should. I have never exercised a day in my life, not once. I have never worked out. But I have worked, I have carried water, I have chopped wood, I have walked behind animals and lifted heavy things, and bent my back over a garden row for hours. The difference is that my movement had purpose. I wasn't moving to burn something off. I wasn't running in place like a hamster on a wheel, going nowhere, watching a screen. I was moving because a living thing needed to be fed, because a fence needed mending. Because winter was coming and the woodpile was low. Your bodies are starving for purposeful movement and you're feeding them performance. You go to a gym and you lift a heavy thing and put it back down in the same place. Think about that. You pick it up and you set it right back where it was. Nothing was accomplished. Your muscles don't know the difference maybe, but your soul does. Find work that moves your body towards something real. Carry groceries for your neighbor. Dig a garden bed. Build something with your hands and your back. Let your sweat mean something beyond vanity. Rule number 4, stop eating your emotions. This is the one nobody wants to hear, so I'll say it plain. Half of what you eat because you are lonely or bored or angry or sad or numb. You are not hungry at 11 o'clock at night. You are empty, but not in your stomach, in your chest, and you are filling the wrong hole. I watched my son, my second son, Daniel, go through a hard time after his wife left. And he started eating like a man trying to bury himself. He put on weight, he slowed down, his eyes went dull. And one day I sat him down and I said, Daniel, you are not hungry, you are grieving. And grief does not live in the stomach. Stop feeding it like it does. He didn't like hearing it, but he heard it, and slowly, not quickly, slowly, the way real things happen, he started to change. Not his diet first, his heart first. And the body followed, because the body always follows the heart. You want to fix your health, fix your loneliness first. Fix your sense of purpose first. Fix the thing that sends you to the kitchen at midnight looking for something that a refrigerator cannot give you. No diet on earth can heal a person who is eating to fill a hole that food didn't dig. I'm going to close now because I've been sitting longer than I like and the sun is getting low. and I still have chores that won't do themselves. But let me leave you with this. You do not need another doctor. You do not need another app. You do not need another supplement, another cleanse, another 30-day challenge, another guru selling powders in a bag with a leaf on it. You need a glass of water, an egg from a real chicken, a walk with no destination, and the courage to be bored long enough to hear what your body is actually telling you. Your great-grandmothers didn't have a wellness routine. They had a life. They cooked with lard and drank whole milk and worked in the sun and bore children and buried loved ones. And they didn't need a coach to tell them how to breathe. They just breathed. You have complicated the simplest thing in the world. Being alive is not complicated. You made it complicated because complicated is profitable for someone, not for you, for someone. Every time you feel confused about what to eat, someone is making money from that confusion. Every time you feel broken, someone is selling the fix. You are not a customer, you are a human being. Stop buying your way to health and start living your way there. I am 96 years old. I eat eggs and bread and butter and vegetables and meat, and I drink water, and I go to sleep when it's dark, and I wake when it's light, and I move my body, because there are living things that depend on me, and that is the whole secret. That is all of it. There is no hidden chapter. There is no ancient remedy. There is just a man who was never given the option to ruin himself, and so he didn't. You have the option. You are surrounded by ruin, and it comes in bright packages with friendly labels. So the question is not whether you know better. The question is whether you have the spine to live like you know. The clock in your chest is ticking. It doesn't care what you had for breakfast, but you should. Now go live and be the person you were meant to be. If this old farmer made you think twice about what's on your plate tonight, really think, not just nod and scroll, then share this with someone who's drowning in supplements and still feeling empty. Subscribe to this channel so these conversations keep reaching the people who are tired of being lied to about their own bodies. And leave a comment below. Tell me, what's the one simple food your grandmother made that you haven't eaten in years? Name it. Sometimes remembering is the first step back to the table. Now go drink some water, the real kind.